Tens, right, this is a video on dots or difference of two squares. Okay. I like to use the full name instead of the shorter one, okay, just because what you're going to be doing is actually in the actual name itself. Okay, so try and remember what dots stands for. Okay, if you like to use dots, please remember that it stands for difference of two squares. Okay, all right, so what is this? So what's the deal with difference of two squares? Okay, so if I gave you brackets like this, x minus 1 and x plus 1, okay, if I told you to multiply this out, okay, what is your answer going to be? Okay, so we know we're going to get x squared. Okay, x times 1 is positive x. Okay, negative 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. Alright, add those like terms, and you're going to get x squared minus 1. Okay, so now look at this answer here. How many terms do I have? I've got two terms. Okay, difference of two. Okay, two terms. Okay, difference meaning minus. Okay, there's a minus there, there's a difference. Okay, of two terms, squares. Okay, x squared. Okay, and 1 is a perfect square. Okay, so you need to know your perfect squares. Okay, so you need to know square root of 1, square root of 4, square root of 9, square root of 16, square root of 25, square root of 36, square root of 49, square root of 64, square root of 81, okay, the square root of 100, square root of 121, and the square root of 144. Okay, so those are all the perfect squares up until 12. Okay, so the answer to that is 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, you need to please know your perfect squares. Alright, very important. Okay, so how did I get from here back to here? Because I'm going to be factorizing now. Okay, so it's going to be the opposite. I need to go from the answer here back to here. Okay, so can you see that I've got a difference here? Okay, when I multiplied negative 1 with positive 1, okay, I got a negative. Now what if I multiplied a negative 1 with a negative 1? If this was negative 1 multiplied with negative 1, what are you going to get? You're going to get a positive 1. Okay, but difference of two squares always needs a negative here. Okay, so what are the two signs that are always going to give me a negative here? It's always going to be a negative and a plus. A negative and a plus. Okay, so when I open up two brackets, okay, I know that my signs are always going to be a plus and a minus, because a positive multiplied by a negative is always going to give me a negative. Okay, so that's why the signs are always plus and minus. Alright, now I'm going to take, what's the square root of the first term? What's the square root of a squared? Good, it's just a, so the a's go to the front. Okay, square root of x squared is x and x. Alright, and what is the square root of 25? 5 and 5. And there we go, finishing class. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright, hope that makes sense. Right, if it doesn't, just rewind the video and maybe just watch it again. Okay, so over here, now let's look at this one. Okay, so I'm looking for a difference of two squares. Okay, so with all your factorizing things, okay, before you start, okay, so I was actually naughty in this one. Okay, the first thing I always need to do is I need to look for a common factor. Okay, luckily here I didn't have one, but now let's just look at this quickly. Okay, before I even look at it, okay, before I even determine what type of factorizing it is, I need to first see, okay, is there a common factor here? Okay, look at just the numbers. Okay, can 2 go into? Yes. Can 2 go into 32? Yes, it can. Okay, so 2, alright, and I'm left with an a squared minus 16. Okay, so I see that I've got a difference. There's a difference. I've got two terms, okay, and are they both perfect squares? Okay, so a squared is a perfect square. We know it's going to give me a and a if I square root it. Is 16 a perfect square? Okay, so let's go back to the slide. Yes, 16 is a perfect square. Okay, so I can keep the 2 there. Okay, I always open up 2 brackets. What are the signs for ever and always for difference of 2 squares? Plus and a minus. Right, square root of the first term, a and a. Square root of the last term, 4 and 4. Okay, I hope that is easy for you. Okay, so practice makes permanent. Okay, so mathematics, always need to practice everything that you learn. Okay, so you can't just watch a video and pretend like it's going to go in your brain, you're going to be fine for your test. You need to keep practicing. Okay, do it. Alright, so let's practice. So pause the video, look at these. Okay, see if you can do them by yourselves, and then play the video again, and then you can watch me do it. Okay, so I see I've got a difference. I've got 2 squares. Okay, but before I do anything, I need to see if there's a common factor. Is there a common factor there? No. Okay, good. So I can just start. Okay, so I open up 2 brackets. I've got a difference of 2 squares. Okay, I put in a plus, I put in a minus. Alright, square root of the first term, x, square root of the last term, but y and y. Boom, shakalaka. Okay, right, over here. First thing I do before I even start, is there a common factor? No, there's no common numbers, there's no common letters. Okay, cool, let's start. Okay, do I have a difference of 2 squares here? Okay, I've got a difference. Awesome. Okay, there's a perfect square. I've got 16 is a perfect square. Okay, can I square root a to the power of 4? Yes, I can. So if I square root a to the power of 4, what are you going to get? A squared. Okay, how did I get to a squared? Okay, you're going to divide the power by whatever is in front of the square root. When there's nothing there, it's always a little 2. Okay, so please always remember that. Okay, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so let's open up our brackets. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, signs forever and always is always plus and a minus. Square root of the first term, a to the 2. Square root of the last term, 4 and 4. Now I want you to look at these 2 brackets. Okay, can I go further in my factorizing? Look at the first bracket. Can I go further? No. Okay, why can't I go further? Okay, I see I've got 2 terms. Okay, there's a perfect square, but do I have a difference here? No, it's a plus. So this is not a difference of 2 squares, but this one is. Difference, perfect square, perfect square. Alright, so let's carry on. Okay, so we've got a squared plus 4. Open up 2 brackets, boom, 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 boom. What are the signs always? Plus and minus. Alright, square root of the first term, a and a. Square root of the last term, 2 and 2. Right, that I hope that is happy. I hope you guys are happy with that one. Okay, can I go any further here? No. Okay, there's no perfect squares there. Okay, awesome. Let's look at this one. Okay, first thing before I start, what do I always do? Look for a common factor. Is there a common factor there? No, no common factor there. Okay, so where am I going to start? Okay, so is it a difference of 2 squares though? Okay, cool. I've got a difference. Okay, got a perfect square. 16 is a perfect square. X squared is a perfect square, and 1 is a perfect square. Okay, so I can open up. Boom, 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 boom. Right, signs always. The plus, there's a minus. Okay, square root of the first term, 4x, 4x. Square root of the last term, 1 and 1. Okay, can I go further here? Are there perfect squares here? Okay, there's a difference. 1 is a perfect square. 4 is a perfect square. But is x a perfect square? No, not yet. Okay, you'll find out in grade 11, I think, if it is or not. Okay, but for now, we just leave it as it is. Alright. Now, let's look at this one. Okay, is there any common factors there? No. Okay, there's nothing that can go into 25 and 64. Okay, so is it a difference of two squares? There's a difference. 25 is a perfect square. X squared is a perfect square. 64 is a perfect square. Y squared is a perfect square. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm going to open up two brackets. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, signs forever and always. Yep, there's a plus and there's a minus. Okay, square root of the first term. Yep, 5x, 5x. Square root of the last term. Yeah, boy, we've got 8y and 8y. Very good. Happy. Awesome stuff. Let's keep going. Alright, so I want you guys to do these. Okay, but what I want you to do, okay, is I just want to go through this one. Okay, because this is looking a bit different. Okay, looking a little bit different to the rest of them. Okay, so over here I've got a bracket. Okay, I've got a bracket now. It's a little bit different. Okay, so let's check. So how am I going to do this one? So let's just first check. Is there any common factors here? No, there's no common factors. Okay, so I'm going to open up a bracket. So because I see that there's a bracket, I'm going to open up a square bracket. I'm going to show you now, I'm going to show you just now why I'm doing that. Okay, I'm opening up a square bracket because I have a bracket there. Okay, it's just for me to distinguish between brackets, just so I can see the brackets easier. All right, so I've got a difference. I've got a perfect square here, and I've got a perfect square here. Okay, so what are the signs for ever and always? Plus and minus. Okay, so now if I have a bracket squared, okay, so let's actually start with an x squared. Okay, so if I square root x squared, what do I get? I get x. Alright, but now if I square root a bracket squared, okay, so what changed here? All I changed was an x to a bracket. Okay, I don't care what's inside the bracket for now. I just care about the bracket. Okay, so the bracket squared. If I square root this, what am I going to get? If x squared, the square root of x squared is x, the square root of a bracket squared is a bracket. Okay, nothing too difficult there. Okay, I'll say that again. The square root of x squared is x. The square root of a bracket squared is a bracket. Okay, so here I've got a bracket. Okay, I don't care what's inside for now. I don't care what's inside. Okay, I've got a bracket squared. What's the square root of a bracket squared? A bracket. So a bracket's going to go in the front here. Okay, and a bracket there. All right, what's the square root of x squared? X. So x goes there and x goes there. All right, so now what goes inside of those brackets? Okay, there was something inside of those brackets. Let's just check there. Okay, we've got a plus b. Okay, a plus b and a plus b. Okay, but now can you see why I put a square bracket here? Okay, because now I've got brackets inside of brackets, and if this was a curly bracket outside here, then I would be confused by where the brackets are. And you know, I like to make life easy for myself. Okay, so that's why I use it. It's not necessary. Okay, you don't have to put a square bracket there. It's just for me, it looks nicer. All right. So I don't like brackets inside of brackets. It's not nice. Okay, so how do I get this bracket away now? Okay, I multiply it out. Okay, what's a positive? Okay, there's a little positive in front of this bracket. Positive times a is positive a. Positive times b is positive b, and it's a plus x. Okay, positive times a is positive a. Positive times positive b is positive b minus x. Okay, so let's see if we can find another one of those. Here we go. All right, let's look at this. Okay, I've got a difference. I've got two perfect squares, bracket squared, bracket squared. Okay, any common factors here? No, there's no common factors there. All right, so let's open up square brackets because I have curly brackets. Okay, so I'm going to open up square brackets, square brackets. Okay, what are the signs for ever and always for difference of two squares? Plus and a minus, good. Okay, what's the square root of a bracket squared? Good, it's just a bracket. Okay, just a bracket. what goes inside? What is inside this bracket now? A minus b. A minus b. Okay, look at the second bracket here. What's the square root of a bracket squared? The bracket. Good. Okay, and now what was inside this bracket? A plus b and a plus b. Alright, I don't like brackets inside of brackets, so what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply out those brackets now. Okay, so what's a positive times a? A, positive times negative b, positive times a, positive times b, positive b. Alright, positive times a, positive times negative b, negative times a, negative times b, negative b. Okay, do I have like terms that I can add inside those brackets? Yeah, I do. Okay, a plus a is 2a, negative b plus b is 0. Those b's will cancel out. Okay, nothing more. Okay, a minus b, cancel out, that's 0. Okay, negative b minus b is negative b. So negative 2b. Okay. Okay. Happy. Good stuff. Right. Let's look at this one over here. Right, a little bit different now. Okay, I want you to pause the video, see if you can do it by yourself, and then you can watch me do it. Okay, so do I have any common factors firstly? No, nothing can go into 4, nothing can go into 9, that are the same. Okay, do I have a difference? Yes, I've got a difference. Do I have two squares? Is 4 a perfect square? Yes. Is a bracket a perfect square? Yes. Is 9 a perfect square? Yes. And is a bracket squared a perfect square? Yes. Okay, so because I've got brackets, I'm going to open up square brackets. Okay, just to make it look nice for me. Square brackets, square brackets. What are the signs for ever and always for difference of two squares? Plus and minus, good. Okay, what's the square root of 4? 2. 2. Okay, now attached to that 4 is a bracket. Okay, what's the square root of a bracket squared? A bracket. So attached to the 2 is going to be a bracket. Attached to the 2 is going to be a bracket. Alright, what goes inside that bracket? Whatever was here. Okay, x minus y, x minus y. Okay, what's the square root of 9? 3 and 3. Okay, attached to that 9 is a bracket. What's the square root of a bracket squared? A bracket. Okay, so attached to the 3 is going to be a bracket, and attached to this 3 is going to be another bracket. Okay, what goes inside this bracket? X plus y, very good. Okay, are we happy with that? Now again, I don't like brackets inside of brackets and things. Okay, so what do I have to do? I'm going to simplify, I'm going to multiply those out. Okay, so what is 2 times x? 2x, 2 times negative y, negative 2y, positive 3 times x, positive 3x, positive 3 times positive y, positive 3y, close bracket, open bracket, 2 times x, 2x, 2 times negative y, negative 2y, negative 3 times x, negative 3x, negative 3 times y, negative 3y, close bracket. Okay, any like terms here? Of course there are. Alright, so we've got 2x plus 3x gives me 5x. Okay, negative 2y plus 3y is positive y. Close bracket. Alright, 2x minus 3x, negative x. Okay, minus 2y minus 3y, negative 5y. Close bracket. Alright, and there we go. And that is difference of two squares. Okay, I hope this video helped. If there's still things that you don't understand, maybe just rewatch the video, just go through those steps again. And yeah, good luck with your exams, guys.